Let's fucking go. Hey everyone, it's Alexander Robinson. Welcome to the channel, and this is my review for Deadpool and Wolverine, the third Deadpool movie starring Ryan Reynolds, but the first one set in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Kind of. I'm not going to go into spoilers with this video, so I'm going to try to keep the plot description as vague as possible. Basically, Wade Wilson gets the attention of the TVA, the Time Variance Authority that was introduced in Loki Season 1. They give him the opportunity to join the actual Marvel Cinematic Universe. So basically, he leaves his timeline to go to Earth 616. But Wade soon finds out there's a catch to all this, and so he ends up going on this grand multiverse adventure with Wolverine, played once again by Hugh Jackman. This was hands down one of the most anticipated movies of the year, especially considering that last year the Marvel Cinematic Universe was kind of fumbling a bit. I mean, I didn't like Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, but I didn't hate it. I hated Secret Invasion. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 was great, and I'm one of the few people that actually did enjoy the Marvels, but I didn't see Loki Season 2, mainly because both Quantumania and Secret Invasion left a really bad taste in my mouth. So even with the stuff that I liked, I just wasn't over the moon excited about them. Which was kind of my feeling going into Deadpool and Wolverine, because I love the original Deadpool, and Deadpool 2 was good, but definitely doesn't hold a candle to the uniqueness that was the first one. And Hugh Jackman's Wolverine had a fantastic send-off with Logan, so bringing him back for this movie is admittedly something we all wanted to see, but it was incredibly risky, so I didn't know really what to make of it going into it. Now that I've actually seen the movie for myself, I can say with confidence that it is a good movie. It's really fun, it's entertaining, it's very clever throughout, but I didn't find myself over the moon in love with it like so many people are. But let me talk about all the good stuff first. Seeing Ryan Reynolds' Deadpool finally share the screen with Hugh Jackman's Wolverine is something that we've been looking forward to seeing, and it did not disappoint. Their chemistry and their banter is just so fun. You can tell that Logan is just flat out irritated by Wade Wilson. And there are several fights between the two of them throughout this movie, and they're bloody, they are entertaining as hell, and they just kick a ton of ass. And it really goes to show you that Hugh Jackman does have a lot of comic timing as this character, and it works perfectly. We've seen him mostly play this role seriously with not a whole lot of humor, so his dynamic with Ryan Reynolds is just a lot of fun. In fact, I think he drops more F-bombs in this movie than Deadpool himself does. And for those of you out there worried if Hugh Jackman's return to this role devalues the perfect ending that was Logan, you're gonna have to see the movie for yourself. But the short answer for me is not really. Now, in terms of this being a multiverse movie, you've probably heard that there's a lot of fan service, but I will say that it feels organic to the actual story that they're trying to tell. Again, I'm not going to give spoilers away, but there's a lot of cameos in this movie that, considering the nature of Deadpool and him being a meta character, it works. And if you've been following a lot of the production history of some of these Marvel Fox movies, especially the ones that were canceled, you'll get a kick out of a lot of these cameos. And it honestly feels like a more inspired multiverse movie than No Way Home did, or Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, and especially The Flash. Like, the fan service in this movie, like I said, it feels organic to the plot, whereas The Flash just felt so forced and just catered to the lowest common denominator. That being said though, there are a few fan service moments in this movie that when the audience cheered, I thought, y'all must not remember your history because this is universally hated. Now, as for my reason for not being in love with this movie, the plot itself is just very standard, and the movie has its typical superhero tropes in the sense of story structure and how we have to end with this certain thing here. For as good as this movie is, you can definitely feel that formula in full effect. And I feel like that's ultimately Marvel's biggest problem right now. While they have so many varied characters out there whose movies can take on many different genres on their own. Like Captain America is different from Thor, Guardians of the Galaxy is different from Black Panther. All of these different characters have movies where you go, yeah, it's a superhero movie, but it's also this genre here. The problem with seeing so many of them, especially within this series, is that the formula itself stays the same with all of them. And I just wish they kind of change things up a bit. Outside of a lot of the cameos, story-wise, it didn't really have any surprises, and I could kind of see how it all plays out at the end. That's not to say it's bad, but a few surprises here and there would have made this movie a lot better in my eyes. Also, I found Cassandra Nova as a villain to just be fine. Emma Corrin does a really good job, and you can tell that she's having fun with this role, but as a character herself, Cassandra was just kind of there to move the plot along. I didn't really think much about her story. That being said though, if you're a fan of comic book movies, and especially the last two Deadpool movies, I don't see how you could walk away from this movie without something to love about it. It is wildly entertaining. It is bloody as hell as well. This is the first MCU movie to get an R rating, and it does not disappoint in terms of the gore and violence. I mean, the opening credit sequence alone, I won't say what it is or what happens, but I was in love with it because of how violent it was and just how creative and absurd it got. So the opening credits I absolutely loved. The rest of the movie itself is good, but it's not all that great. Again, I think this is probably the best multiverse comic book movie that we've gotten, but it definitely falls into a lot of similar trappings that we've seen from superhero movies within this decade. One last thing I'll say without spoiling it is that this movie does feel like the perfect send-off to the Fox era of Marvel movies, because as we all know, 20th Century Fox is now 20th Century Studios, and the last two movies of this series, well, we're Dark Phoenix and New Mutants, and really we don't want those to be the final installments. So this definitely feels more like a palate cleanser and one last hurrah for that era of Marvel movies. And even though I think there have been more bad Marvel movies from Fox than good ones, it definitely feels like an appropriate way to close out this era. It's a lot of fun, and even though I didn't love the movie, I still enjoyed it at the end of the day. And there you go, that's my review for Deadpool and Wolverine. I hope you enjoyed it. Now before I go, I want to give a special thank you to all of my YouTube members right here. If you want to help support the channel even more and get access to exclusive content that nobody else gets to see, you can join YouTube memberships for as little as $1.99 a month. Not only do you get early access to all of my videos before they're released to the public, but you get member exclusive videos. I just uploaded a video listing off my top 5 favorite elements from Logan, and that's available for all YouTube members. So again, $1.99 a month to join YouTube memberships. And I also want to give a special thank you to all of my viewers and subscribers for keeping this channel growing, and I definitely appreciate your support. So until next time, I want to know what you guys think about Deadpool and Wolverine. Whatever your opinions are, let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell button to get notifications. If you want to find me elsewhere on the internet, you can find me on Facebook, Instagram, Letterboxd, Threads, and my theme park and travel channel right here on YouTube. I'll see you guys in the next video, but until then, have a good day and take care of yourselves.